Hi guys, thanks for stopping by. Are you tired of getting blamed every time you try to talk to your alcoholic or addict or set a boundary? Well, if so, you've come to the right place because that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about ways to keep that from happening. Before we get started though, we're actually going to talk about some things that we should not say that are going to escalate conversations. Proverbs 25:11 says, "A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver." And I was thinking today that King Solomon probably didn't have you and I in mind, trying to talk to our alcohol or addict loved one when he wrote that verse, right? But it applies, doesn't it? Because the way we say things is going to have a lot to do with how effective what we're talking about is going to be. And that's a process that we're all working on. So first of all, let's get to the things we should not say. One of the things not to say is, why can't you just stop? Because that reduces alcoholism to an act of will or willpower. And alcoholism and addiction is a brain disease. And it's just, if they're truly an addict or an alcoholic, they're going to need recovery and support groups and programs, 12-step programs usually, before they can stop. They can't just stop. It's not just willpower. The next thing we don't want to say is, if you loved me, you wouldn't drink. Because that frames addiction as a lack of love. And it's usually not that either. In fact, alcoholics and addicts can be some of the most charming, talented, compassionate people on the face of this earth. They just have a brain disease that they get stuck in. So we don't want to say that. You're ruining everything. There's a funny thing about global accusations. They usually devolve into arguments about minutia. And we're probably not going to win those arguments about minutia, although I've been known to try. You always or you never. You know, absolutes are never true. It's never always or never, except for God is always faithful. I mean, those absolutes, right? We can trust in. But as far as our behavior, it's never an always or never. It's always going to be somewhere in between. We don't want to say to them or to ourselves, it's not that bad. Because what that does is it minimizes the situation, and it actually protects denial for both our alcoholic and for ourselves. I'll cover for you. We don't want to say that because enabling prolongs the disease. That is proven. Enabling is going to prolong the disease. So we do not want to enable. We don't want to say, you promised, because broken promises are going to be a result of addiction most of the time. But just reminding our alcoholic or addict loved one that they broke a promise usually just escalates shame, and it's a shame-based disease anyway, so it makes it worse and not better. So what we need to stick to is focusing on ourselves. And the more we can learn where we stop and our loved one starts, the better off we're going to be, and the more peace we are going to have. We can say things like, I love you, but I can't be around you when you're drinking. I love you, but I don't feel safe in the car driving with you when you've been drinking. Focus on ourselves. Now, I want to give a hat tip to Healing Family Addiction. It's a channel that you can find on YouTube, and I definitely recommend that you check them out. It's a mother-daughter team, and they've had a lot of experience with disease themselves, and professionally and personally. And so they have a lot of good advice on there. And one of the things that they were talking about that I found so helpful, perhaps a little challenging, but is to change the word but to and when we are talking about something that could be a little bit controversial. So let's say our addict says to us, "You always say that," or you're making me feel bad, or "that hurt my feelings." What we can say in return is, "I'm really sorry that it landed like that for you. I'm really sorry that you feel that way. It wasn't my intention for it to land that way, or it wasn't my intention to make you feel like that. And I'm not going to be able to pick you up from the bar. It's not my intention to have you feel abandoned at all. And I can't loan you money." If we say "and" in between, we talk about what our choices are going to be versus making it about them. The more we can figure out how to keep our half of the street clean, the better we're going to be. Because we really need to recover too. We don't realize that when we get started, but we get caught in the disease of addiction. Addiction is a family disease, and it affects every member of the family one way or another. And so the more the family can recover and the more each individual member of the family can recover, the more we can open the door for recovery-based solutions for our loved ones. My name is Sally New, and I help Christian women develop doable, healthy boundaries that promote family peace and implement recovery-related resources. So I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. You can download a free document that will walk you through a 3-step process that will help you surrender anything that's bothering you, anything that's on your mind. And of course, reach out to me in the comments. Let me know what you're going through. I promise to pray for you. I want you to know you don't have to go through this alone. You are not alone. I can help you. I have been through this many times. I've done everything wrong that can be done wrong, and I've learned to do a few things right too. And I'd love it. It'd be my honor to walk with you along this journey. So reach out to me when you can, and I will be back soon. In the meantime, guys, God bless.